This is Scott the Fix-It Guy. Our goal with our videos is to empower you to be able to do the repairs on your own and save a whole lot of money and also get that great feeling of having fixed it by yourself.
Today we have a Viking gas oven that the bake cycle isn't working. We're not getting any heat, so we're going to be replacing the two igniters. Pretty easy to do. So I'm going to lift up on the door and kind of wiggle and lift, and the door will come off of the little hinge pins. You don't have to do this, it just makes it a little bit easier to get to. I'll pull these trays out. If you don't pull off the door, you can still totally do this, just a little harder. That one comes out. I'm going to lift up on these side grates and then slip them out. And then this bottom panel will just come right out. I'm going to lift, it's kind of heavy, lift and pull. Kind of have to lift up the back too. It has a heat deflector underneath it, so it's kind of heavy, a lot of metal. And then we have a Phillips head screw here on this lower kick panel that we'd like to get out, and one on the left-hand side. We'll spin those out. We're going to lift up on this panel by about a 1/4 inch and pull it off of two lower pins. It comes right out. And we're going to take out two screws here, Phillips head screws that are holding this detent that holds the Venturi tube, the burner tube into place. Get that out of the way. And then we can grab the whole Venturi tube, the burner tube, and pull it off. And toward us, it'll slip right out of this hole. It gives us a little bit easier access to the igniter. You may want to lubricate the threads of these two Phillips head screws with a little bit of oil, vegetable oil, or any kind of oil you have, so you can spin them out easier. So they just spin out with a Phillips head screwdriver. And then we're going to put on a new igniter. We'll put a link in the description below on where to get these. It's a pretty inexpensive igniter kit that's designed for Viking ovens. This one has two igniters because it has actually two burners that you have to replace at the same time. It's not recommended that you replace one without the other, but you replace them together. This is the one on the right side. We're going to put the two Phillips head screws back in nice and tight. It's actually a really good type of oven. It's very easy to work on and just take you a few minutes to do this. Tighten those up, and then we're going to go ahead and push the burner tube back through that hole. First though, I'll hook up the electrical, so I'm going to pull this wire out. That's the old one. And hook up one of the igniter wires here. It doesn't matter which one. There's no polarity issue, so just either one is fine. Get it in there nice and tight. I'm going to go ahead and pull this one off. That's the other igniter wire. I'll hook that up. Actually, I'll hook that up after I put it back in because there's not much, doesn't give me much slack. So I'm going to push that back in the hole. I'm going to line it up with the slot there near the back of the oven. Fits right in that slot. And then I'm going to push it over this brass piece where the gas comes in. And then I can do that electrical piece pretty easily, because now it'll fit. So I'm just going to push those in, make sure they're nice and tight. Put this detent piece back on and add the two Phillips head screws that hold it. I have replaced the igniters without taking the burner tube out before. It's just a little hard to do because you don't have much room to work. So pulling out the whole burner tube makes it a lot easier. It just takes maybe a few minutes more. So that side's essentially done. Now we can go and do the left side. We do the same thing though. We just remove the two screws that are holding on the detent that holds it. Zip those out. This Milwaukee driver has really served me well over the years. It's probably my 7th or 8th year using it. It's just really tough, really durable. So I got that out. I'm going to get this plate out, and then I can pull the whole burner Venturi tube out. I'm going to pull it to the left a little bit to get it out of the brass piece right here where the gas comes in. Get it to my left, and then I'll pull the whole tube out. All right, I'll zip out those 2 Phillips head screws. Again, you may want to add a little oil. Sometimes these screws are a bit corroded. These came out really easily. The customer mentioned that the oven was taking a long time to heat, and every now and then there'd be like a little explosion and the door would fly open. These are all signs of an igniter that's getting really old and tired. They said too that about half of the heating ability dropped off. So I think one of the igniters, one of the 2, actually stopped working. So you always want to replace them together. This kit that comes with the 2 igniters is actually pretty inexpensive. Okay, we got those on. We're going to feed it back in. Goes in that slot. Going to wiggle it in, and then we're going to push it over the brass piece, and we'll put the plate back on. Add those 2 Phillips head screws. It's funny, a lot of appliance techs will not work on Viking, and I don't see why. It's a great oven and range. They're really tough. They're durable. They're like what you see in a restaurant, and very easy to work on. Put those 2 screws in. All right, we're going to do our electrical now. So this is the safety valve to my left. I'm going to pull this one electrical connector off. It's the lowest one. That's where the igniter was hooked up, and I'll take either one of the igniter wires, doesn't matter which one. I'll put it back onto that spade connector and push it up on. I'm going to use a pair of needle nose to give me a little more leverage to get it on there nice and tight. There we go. I'll do the other side now. It's good to do these igniters one by one so you don't get the wires mixed up. You do the one on the right first, get it all done, all your connections done, then do the one on the left. Otherwise, it's a bit confusing. We can get these wires out of the way, and we can give it a test. There we go. There's the oven. So turn it on, and it should be within about 20 seconds. You should get a glow, and you should get ignition. Anything longer than that, the igniters are probably wearing out and taking too long. So these get really hot, and then they allow gas to flow in, and these act like a match to light that gas. It's almost white hot. There's our flame. It looks great. The one on the right, though, I'm getting kind of a yellow tinge. So I'm going to adjust the air-fuel mixture. The one on the left looks good. It's blue flame with a little bit of yellow tinge, but the one on the right, too much yellow. That's incomplete combustion. It means less heat and too much carbon monoxide. So there's an air-fuel shutter that we can adjust right where my fingers are. It's just something that you turn. You have to unloosen a screw first. I'm using a 1/4-inch drive to unloosen that screw. And then you can sometimes use your hand, or you might need to use a pair of pliers, but just turn it and then wait a few seconds and look at the flame. Turn it, wait a few seconds, look at the flame, comparing it to the flame on the left here, which is a nice, good blue flame. And once you get that to where you get the same blue type flame with a little bit of yellow tinge, then you know you hit your mark. So they're pretty much balanced now. That's going to give the oven more of a balanced heat. This is what you don't want, is all the yellow flame, because that is incomplete combustion. So we got it. We're going to go and tighten it up. And now we can put it back together. We'll turn it off, let it cool for a sec. So we'll put the bottom toe kick plate back on. We'll put the bottom of the plate on the 2 pins, rock it forward, and then add the 2 Phillips head screws. By the way, if you ever do this on a Wolf oven, it's very similar, almost the same procedure. It's also a very good stove, very good range, very good oven. There we go. And now we're going to put on the bottom plate. We're going to slide it in and get it all the way to the back, kind of rock it around until it sits nice and flat. It might take a little finagling to get that thing to get in position. Be patient. It'll go back in. I'm going to put in the side plates. So put in the kind of bent type thing on the top. Let it come down vertical. To the other side, use the bent pieces go on the top. Let it go down. I'll add the trays back in. And now to put the door back on, I'll pull these hinges out toward me a little bit. They're spring loaded. You have to pull a little bit hard, and then I'm going to push this thing down to get this out at about 33 degrees. And that's going to make it easier for me to get the oven to slide back on. I'm using my knees to kind of help hold it. I'm going to slide the left, slide the right on, wiggle it, let it slide all the way down. Then I'll open it 90 degrees. And then it should close nice and even. There we go. I'm going to set it to 350 and give it a try.
If you ever want to take
So
that
we're
door
back
off,
to normal.
it's pretty cool.
And thanks so much for watching. Thanks so much for watching our video. We really appreciate your support. And when you get a chance, please press the subscribe button below so you can be subscribed, and also the notification bell so we can send you more videos about appliance repair. Please also give us a thumbs up if you enjoyed the video. If you really liked the video and it really helped you, please press this new applaud button and you can show your support and also get a nice clapping hands for your video. Thanks again.